Smackdown 8/1/25, the go-home show to SummerSlam 2025, which by the time you hear this review is more than likely just hours away. If you were looking for a show that got you excited for SummerSlam, this was more than likely not the show for you. If you were looking for a show that had anything to do with SummerSlam, this was more than likely not the show for you. You had a Cena face turn out of nowhere. Like an RKO or a brick to the face, you just had John Cena going, "I'm sorry." Well, damn then. All right. Welcome back, I guess is what we're supposed to say. Face versus face tonight. Can't be any worse than their WrestleMania finish, right? Right? Cena, out of nowhere, turns face. We'll talk about it. There was a dude dressed up like an iguana. The iguanian, or whatever he called himself. He was out there with a puppet that was also an iguana. And he tried to do a bunch of spiffy dancing on the ropes, trying to make a good first impression. I respect that. But he landed on his nuts. We'll talk about it. You had the AAA tag titles defended because why not at this point? They don't know what to do with their tag division as it is. They don't know how to properly book a tag team division or care about their tag team titles, so we might as well bring even more tag team titles into the fold. Alexa Bliss had all the momentum in the world at the Royal Rumble, the crowd reaction, everything. She went from badass to playing the role of bestie. Alexa Bliss is just backstage trying to be besties with Charlie Flair. That's what they're doing with Alexa and Charlie. We're supposed to be all into if they're friends or not. Are you guys friends? We need to break the story. Kathy Kelly backstage, she really is trying to get the scoop. Breaking news, are they friends? And Jelly Roll, and Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre, and Randall Orton. They're all brawling last night. Whoa, just like we've seen for an entire month plus. There's no story. If you were looking for creativity to lead us into SummerSlam, nope, you just got a brawl. They had nothing. Jelly Roll, Logan Paul, Drew, and Randy will have some stupid tag match just to get Jelly Roll into SummerSlam. We won't have a story. We're just going to have you guys brawl non-stop right into SummerSlam, where you guys will fight some more. And BC is supposed to sit back on this review and go, "That's okay. It's fun. I'm just enjoying pro wrestling." I'd enjoy it a lot more if it made sense. I'd enjoy it a lot more if it was creative. I would enjoy it a lot more if the guy at the top of all of this, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque McMahon, gave a shit. That's how I would enjoy it much more. I want to be captivated by this. But no thought could go into this show. How could it? Hunter Hearst Helmsley is on First Take ESPN talking about Unreal. You know, the show that he's the star of, where he exposes the whole business that he used to be the star of. But he can't wrestle anymore, so he's like, how can I be the star of something? Oh, I'll be the star of what I do now, and I'll just expose it. And I'll say we're not actually delivering the magic, showing you the magic or how the tricks are performed. I'm just taking you backstage. That's what he actually said when all the magic and all the tricks were exposed throughout the 5 episodes. But every time he speaks, the nose grows larger, doesn't it? So of course he has no time to book a good SmackDown. Or to fill up 2 nights, right? SummerSlam is too big for one night. Bro, you got 6 matches on each night. People are paying thousands of dollars. You couldn't have made 7 or 8 matches. You couldn't have found room to put R-Truth on there with all the momentum in the world 2 months ago, and you got this dude in catering. You couldn't put LA Knight in a matchup. without any piece of the rocket, without any effort from your ass to push this guy, and he still remains relevant and one of the top cheered individuals, and you can't even give him a SummerSlam match when it's 2 nights. He can't be bothered. He's doing First Take. And then you wait a couple hours, you blink a few times, you have a couple cups of coffee, a cup of 2-3 cups of coffee, and you see that he's right there on TV again. He's behind President Trump. He's on the new board of health committee for sports, or so, I don't even know. Good for him, but now's probably not the time, bro. I understand. The president calls, says jump, you say how high. But, bro, you got SummerSlam. If this was Vincent Kennedy, he's trapped in his office for 25 hours out of a day. 25! Do the Steiner math. Helmsley, he's looking for excuses to be out of the office. I'll travel to New York to do First Take to talk about myself and my show Unreal. Then I will travel over to Washington so I can be with the president and talk about how I'm on this new committee. What about the committee you're on right now, which is Chief of Content, Creative, and Talent? Yeah, it pisses me off when this dude is the face of the company. Why? Why is Helmsley the face of the company? Everywhere you look, it's this dude everywhere. Hulk Hogan passes away. You could have had so many different avenues for narrations. This dude has a 5-minute intro to the 10-bell salute, and then he actually narrates the video package for Hogan. He actually Bruce Pritchard knew him better than you, man. Where are you taking the time to do all this? That is why you don't get a good show, because the guy at the top can't be bothered. You saw Unreal. The guy walks in last minute, sees the board that all of the writers came up with, Punk versus Gunther at WrestleMania. That's what they came up with. You know why? Because that's the only thing that makes sense. So he comes in and he doesn't like to see Punk on the grandest stage winning the title. So he goes around the room to see. He's like, who do you guys really have? They're like, Punk. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to give the rocket to Jey Uso. That's not what we said. You just flew in here from who knows where, doing some commercial probably. We're telling you it's Punk Gunther. You just asked us again. We told you Punk Gunther. So this numbnuts goes, Jey Uso, because he yeets. I gave him the yeet. He's going to yeet his way to WrestleMania. He's going to yeet. He's going to yeet. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to yeet. And that's what happened. How'd it work out for him? You guys see Unreal? The whole WrestleMania row, they were concerned because he was gassed out and blown up. He even went to H, and Jey Uso said, I'm gassed out. Who was calling that from day one, by the way? What channel? BC. What unit? The Amplified one. We were calling it from day one. When everyone said, oh, they're so negative, that channel, man. It's so harsh. They critique it so negatively. No, it's honesty. And how honest? They were saying the same damn things backstage that BC was seeing and telling my audience. To the point where that dude doesn't even have the title already. He's already the side chick to Roman tonight at SummerSlam. And where are we? Right back to square one, which was the original match that the writers had on that marker board for WrestleMania. Gunther versus CM Punk. We're just redoing the catastrophic wrong from months ago at WrestleMania. We are just right back at square one. When Doofus got off the jet, went into the writer's room, looked at the board, couldn't stand CM Punk winning the title on the grandest stage, so he's like, well, I can do SummerSlam, the second stage. And I'll throw Punk his main event. We'll throw him in the Rollins and Roman thing. It'll be a weird triple threat. Nothing on the line. Nobody knows why this is happening, but we'll call it the main event. There's no way Helmsley was ever going to let CM Punk win that championship at WrestleMania. SummerSlam, we can let that happen. That's a consolation prize tonight for CM Punk. It's the damn truth. There'd be no reason for this guy to enter the writer's room knowing that it has to be Punk Gunther, seeing that every writer has agreed, it's already on the board, and you go and fuck it up with Jason Uso. So that's my opening monologue. If you were expecting this show to really get you excited for SummerSlam, this was a snooze fest to the highest of levels. This show had nothing going on. It made no sense. Alexa's playing besties with Charlie. Cena just turned face out of nowhere. There's iguanas and AAA tag titles. I can't even. And then a stupid-ass redundant brawl to take us off the air. The Jelly Roll Logan Paul brawling with McIntyre and Randy. And I'm supposed to say what? I'm supposed to act like I haven't seen this for an entire month plus? The same brawl? Where's any type of creativity? Where's any type of a story being told? Let's talk about it. I really wanted to, Unit. I really wanted to have a positive review because it is SummerSlam Saturday, right? And I want to get everybody just in a fun mode. Everybody's excited, right? If this company isn't going to get you excited for their own shows, BC wants to do that. I really looked at my notes. I really thought back to last night's show, and I'm really trying to see how can I put a little bit of a twist, because I don't sugarcoat on this channel. I don't bullshit. But how can I put a little bit of a fun twist on this show? And you know what happened, Unit? You know what happened? It came to the realization there's not a damn way that you can put a positive twist on this show. If you didn't watch it, I know a lot of you guys don't. You just listen to BC's review. If there's anything good, you go back and go, hey, BC, I'm going to go check that out. And if it's just absolute a shitfest, you say, BC, thanks for saving me a couple hours, man. Well, you're welcome. I appreciate your thanks. But if you didn't watch the show, I'm going to show you just how bad this shit was. We kick it off with Jonathan Cena and Codithan Rhodes. This is a face-to-face in-ring promo, as if we didn't see enough. But Cody didn't really say too much, if anything, because we've already heard from these two all year so far. So all this was Cena turning face. BC, out of nowhere like that? That's stupid, man, but at least was it done in a wild way? This must have been insane, BC. What happened? Well, he just says on the microphone he was so worried about how everyone would see him tomorrow that he lost track of who he was today. He says he bought into other people's BS and then everyone left him. Now, I'm sure this is the community's going to be like, oh, he's talking about The Rock. He's talking about Travis Scott. Or here's a wild thought, maybe Helmsley? Because if you guys remember, if you saw Unreal, it was Helmsley's idea. Bruce Pritchard first ran it by Helmsley. They fucking went through it. Rock wanted Cody Rhodes if anybody was turning heel. Watch the Unreals. I mean, it sucks that I have to tell you that. Maybe I shouldn't tell you. You don't want to watch the Unreal series. Just take my word for it. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Brewster Pritchard, they all made this John Cena heel turn, and Cena agreed to it. So, hold on. Kayfabe-wise, story-wise, you can blame The Rock. Because that's what everyone loves to do today, right? They blame The Rock more than Hunter Hearst Helmsley. If you want to blame The Rock, that's fine. He absolutely should have been around a lot more if he was going to be in a storyline. I agree. But let's not get the facts twisted. Nick Khan admitted once again in the show Unreal, but he already admitted it 3 times before, that they called Rock, not the other way around. Rock was not supposed to be at EC. They called Rock to show up at EC. Because they did not think they could sell out the arena. That's the fact. Rock didn't want to go over there. So he participated. And he tried to get somewhat creative with Brian Gerwitz. Hey, what if Cody turns heel? I'm not for that, by the way. So the company, Pritchard and Helmsley and the writers, they came to the conclusion, Cena. Cena agreed. So you can blame The Rock storyline-wise. And we can all say absolutely he should have been around more. No question about it. And at WrestleMania, no question about it. But Helmsley knew way in advance. At the EC, Helmsley knew Rock wouldn't be at Mania. That's been confirmed by Gerwitz himself and The Rock. And Helmsley, actually. And Helmsley, and he says on the show Unreal, he says he wants the story to revolve around Travis Scott. So what you got at the end of Mania, that was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. They sold John Cena on a bill of goods, and they did not deliver. In fact, they absolutely took a shit on John Cena. And this is not the first time. There's got to be some type of vendetta between Helmsley and Cena. Helmsley toward Cena. Because every time Cena does a huge favor for H pisses on it. You guys remember when Cena put Solo Sikoa over in Saudi? And he didn't just put him over. He literally got annihilated by Solo Sikoa. Annihilated. And do you guys remember when Cena went back to Hollywood right after that? He looked at Helmsley, he said, here you go, man. I can't do much more for this kid. Now it's up to you. And he walks away. And right after he annihilated Cena, do you guys remember how H booked Solo? 41 match losing streak. 41 match losing streak off all the big events. Hidden at catering. When he showed up, he was losing. Then why did he do the job for him? Why have him show up at a WrestleMania and lose to Austin Theory if you're going to book Theory that way afterwards and have this dude cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase on a mid-card championship and fail? He takes the people that lost to or beat John Cena, annihilated John Cena, humiliated John Cena, and then he books them like trash. You're doing Cena no favors. And then you fast forward to this, you sell him on a heel turn, but then you come up with nothing. The last several months, since he's turned heel, he just goes out and he says mean things to the audience. He takes the person he's about to face's finisher, and we repeat the process, rinse and repeat. So anyway, let's go back to this promo, because I know once he said that, right, he bought into other people's BS and then everyone left him. So storyline-wise, we start going, oh, The Rock, he nailed The Rock. Oh, he nailed Travis Scott. Well, don't get it twisted. I bet you there's even more. With Cena, there's always a purpose. I bet you there's some Hunter Hearst Helmsley dig in there as well, because that's the ultimate son of a bitch that left him high and dry. He then says August 1st, mark it down as the day John Cena returned to WWE, and that Cody gave him the right boot in the ass at the right time, and he remembers who he is now. Remember who you are. Remember. Some straight Lion King. He remembers who he is now. He says, at SummerSlam, the only platinum rapper showing up to whoop your ass is me. So at least this means no Travis Scott debacle this time like at Mania. Because they know that left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, that type of booking from Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, McMahon. So now they're trying to tell you up front, you can watch this and not have to worry. You ain't gonna get bullshittery like that. I'm hoping Cena is just taking the reins here and going, dude, you ain't booking this, H. I'm taking over. Because you did everything in your power to try to ruin this last time. This was the heel turn plan for Cena all along? This was the plan for the heel turn? This was the grand finale of the heel turn? Again, I ask, what the fuck? What the fuck? They toast some Hulk Hogan Real American beer to close out the segment. I thought that was a really cool gesture. I believe this is the first time that Cena was able to be in a WWE ring since Hogan's passing, and then he puts the beer up high for the crowd. I thought that was a really cool gesture, and then we kind of fade to black, I believe, or go over some promo for what's to come in the night. But I'm sure at that point we're all thinking, what just happened, right? Most of us were thinking that at that moment when we went to that first commercial. Or maybe it was commercial free and they went to a promo, actually. Whatever it was, when they moved on, we were thinking, what just is that a real face turn? Like, did he just turn face? Because the only way, I can't even say it works if he's just fooling Cody. And tomorrow, he has Cody in the same position that Cody was in at Mania. And remember, Cody said, I will never hesitate again. So what, do you have The Rock come out? Does Travis Scott come out of nowhere? Was Cena bluffing? And Cody this time doesn't hesitate? Maybe that's but what does Cena have to gain by saying I'm once again a face? Because it's a street fight. You're going to beat the hell out of one another. It's a street fight. What would Cena gain from just going in there with people cheering him? So I don't even see how this could be a bluff. This would be so stupid. This has to be real. I think they want both going in as faces and just have a raucous crowd. We'll see when it's all said and done. But this looks like this was a face turn. Out of nowhere. In a promo. Just in one simple promo. He's like, basically, I apologize. I woke up this morning and I realized I was being stupid. All right then. Then the last 6 months. When did he even turn heel? I don't even know. It was Elimination Chamber. February, March, April, May, June, July. So the last half of a year. What the fuck did we just do? I don't even know. I'm still trying to comprehend it. I'm hoping there's like some type of story that is implemented into tomorrow night's main event that maybe makes this make more sense. I think they just finally realized, where are we going with this, and they didn't know. From the jump, I don't think anybody knew where this was going, and it's obvious. And they realized it's already August. Cena's out in December. What do we do? He's got to lose the title. He's got to somehow leave the company as a face. We got to do all of this in just a few months. Before the holidays. And they panicked, and they just had Cena run out there and cut a fucking promo saying he's a face. I can't even. We'll try to comprehend this a little more, digest it a little bit more, but we do have to move on for the sake of timing, because again, by the time you guys get this, it's going to be SummerSlam. It's, by the way, BC hopes to be live tonight for the main event of SummerSlam, maybe even beforehand, like maybe a match beforehand. So just stay locked on the channel. There'll be a countdown to the live stream. So you guys will see when I am going live. It'll be a certain time, maybe 8:30, something like that. You guys will get to see the time and just stop by, even if it's only for a moment. Say what's up, smash the up, help the algorithm, and let BC know you're fully amplified. But say what's up for sure, even if you can't stay long. But for the main event, I really want to see CM Punk get that championship. It should have been at Mania. This is a consolation prize, but this is a big moment. Or does Helmsley screw CM Punk and doesn't even give it to him here? That's a possibility, but I just don't see how that can even happen. And by the way, that better be the main event. You ain't putting no fucking Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in the main event over CM Punk's championship title match. Stop. Or a Logan Paul and a jelly roll. There's no way that a roll of jelly can get a main event over CM Punk. But I hope to be live, so just stay locked on the channel. You guys will know exactly when we are going live on that stream. So let's move on. Julia took on Zelina Vega, a rematch for Julia's U.S. Championship. Halfway through this match, Tessa Torres says, "They're already chanting, 'This is awesome, Wade!' And BC's thinking, of course they are. If a sea turtle was getting humped by a llama, these idiots would scream, 'Awesome!' The match was good. It was not awesome. The match was 10 minutes barely. It wasn't awesome. But the crowd chanted, 'This is awesome' 3 times in this match. Julia hits Northern Lights for the W and retains her title. There's nothing left to talk about. If I'm being honest with you, as I always am, this was okay. Then we went on to a tag team title match. Not the tag team championships, though. No, they don't know what to do with those, right? That's why this weekend you're getting all of the teams just having a wild match together. Should be actually... I can't believe I'm saying this. It should be actually fun. It's one of the only non-rematches. Although every single show we see every tag team just brawling with one another. So this is just going to be extension of that. But for some reason, it's like you have nothing else that would interest me anyway. Because you haven't booked any team properly. So you might as well just put all these teams in a TLC match. Why not? But they cannot book their tag team division correctly or properly. They don't care to book it properly. They don't know what to do with their titles. So their answer is bring in more tag team titles. Bring in the AAA tag titles. Humberto and Garza. Los Garza. And they have an open challenge. And I'm not joking. What is called a lovable lizard, Mr. Iguana. If you didn't watch the show, if you don't know what we're talking, that's real. Lovable lizard, Mr. Iguana, and a psycho clown answer the challenge. The guy dressed as an iguana just botches from the jump. He does a springboard on Humberto, but it wasn't even a move. He was just happy to have done a flippity move. He was literally happy that he landed on the canvas after doing a twisty. But Humberto just had to fall backwards. It wasn't even a wrestling move. And then he tries this iguanamon. He bounces on the ropes. Like he tries to like do a bunch of like special shit on the ropes, but he literally falls on the top rope square on his nuts. He landed on his nuts, man, and you never want to see a botch like that because this dude, as goofy as it is, you want him to make a good first impression. I mean, this is everything, man. This is the first impression. If you're going to dance on the ropes, there's no room for error. There's none. You can't go out there in your debut and make a mockery out of the fucking rope. Like you're in the middle of a wrestling match. You're dancing on the ropes. Okay. You better be flawless. Damn near perfection. This dude fell on his nuts. And then he goes to pull out a fake iguana. No, he does. He does pull out a fake iguana like a hand puppet. And he goes to go toward Berto. I don't know if he was going for his face, his hand. Berto had to put his own hand into the sock puppet, the iguana puppet. He had to put his own hand in it because the iguana guy was just going anywhere with it. And Berto's like, dude, you got to put the whole thing is he's biting the hand. So he totally whiffs, and it looks so bad. This was like a rough version of Santino Marella's Cobra. You guys remember the Cobra? Or Mick Foley's Sacco? I guess this is the new thing. Mr. Lizardo. But the Iguanian and Psycho Clown lose this match, obviously. I think that was pretty obvious that was the... moments later, after all of this, Los Garza picks up the W. I don't know. Now, I'm sure I'm going to go, well, Blaze Lee, man, that's Mr. Iguana. He's amazing. Blaze Lee, Iguana and Psycho Clown, man, are phenomenal. You got to watch their stuff. Guys, I'm not disputing that. They probably got a great following. Maybe they're even good wrestlers. I don't. There is so many issues in WWE right now. So many. There are so many people on the roster that can't even get a spot. I don't know. LA Knight is missing. R-Truth is missing. Tag team divisions in shambles. Alexa Bliss, with all the momentum in the world, has to play besties with Charlotte just to get Charlotte over to give her some of the rub. Her reaction has to go to Charlotte. There's so many. I can go on and on and on. John Cena's turning face out of nowhere. The role of Jelly is getting top billing. There's so many issues. So many. Championship matches on SmackDown and Raw nonstop, but they can't even get SummerSlam matches like Julia. But it's 2 nights now. I can go on and on and on. No. Taking up TV time or watching gimmicks like Lovable Lizard, it's not... No, not right now. I'm sure I'm hoping they're phenomenal one day on the main stage. But when this show was already like, where's the SummerSlam? Or like, what does any of this have to do? I'm already thinking like, this is confusing. This is weird. Why is Julia not at SummerSlam doing this match for the title? Why is Cena doing this now out of nowhere? Right before SummerSlam? You couldn't even like done this 2 weeks ago? I mean, right before SummerSlam, all of a sudden you're going in now as a good guy. What's... And now all of a sudden I have a lizard and a clown? Oh, my goodness. Maybe if he didn't fall and break his nuts, it would have been different. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm staring at the screen like, what am I viewing? And the guy lands on his nuts, pulls out a fucking hand puppet lizard. If somebody walked in right there and said, what are you watching? I would have been like, I don't know. Damian Priest then defeats Aleister Black via DQ. Tola Tonga defeats Medium Jim Uso via chokeslam pinfall. Post-match, the Solo and his MFTs attack Medium Jim. They start bringing down an actual cage, but Jacoby Fatu gets into the ring before the cage falls. the cage finally does completely fall down, and everybody runs away from Jacob Fatu. I believe Mateo, maybe Tama Tonga, stayed in the ring and got beat up by Fatu, I believe. But basically, this was just Solo kind of running away and looking in at Fatu like, whoa, all right, you escape now, but this weekend you'll be in this cage. Okay. If that there was more effort put into actually building the structure, the cage, in that arena than there was in the creative. And then we just have an awkward, straight cringe backstage segment with Charlie Flair and Alexa Bliss. And I believe it was Kathy Kelly. And she's literally, the whole thing, she's just trying to find out if they're friends. Guys, the whole world wants to know, are you guys friends? And Charlie's like, no, we're not friends. Okay, now Alexa's like, Charlie's nice. She's getting better, but like, no, we're not besties, okay? And Charlotte's like, but we could be, but we're not now. And Alexa's like, well, should we be? And Charlie's like, well, maybe we will be, but I don't feel it now. And she said, well, maybe we should just be besties. And I'm like, I don't know, girl. You ain't gonna be besties today, man. He's like, I don't know, girl. Maybe we already are. We don't know it. I'm not even joking. We spent a couple of minutes watching Alexa Bliss and Charlie Flair try to talk out if they're besties. Are we besties? What are we? Oh my God, we're like besties. We're like such besties. Oh my God, we're besties. Nobody gives a shit what happened to Alexa. All the momentum in the world. Bray Wyatt's Alexa. Remember that? The pop she got at the Rumble. They leave her off of Mania. They don't care about Alexa. But they're pissed off that Charlie, even after winning the Rumble, and even after being in a championship at Mania, while keeping Alexa off of Mania, after all of that, they don't care about Charlotte. They only care about Alexa. The company hates that. So they attached Charlotte right to Alexa. So that now they have to cheer Charlotte too. And when the time is right, they're going to break them up, and Charlotte will be off to the races, and Alexa will be off to the catering. We saw it already with Asuka. We're playing the same game, bro. Nah. Not having it. Already see what they're doing. And now Alexa Bliss is backstage going, are we besties? Are we besties? And then we ended the night with a stupid-ass brawl. A roll of jelly, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, absolutely brawling, suits and ties, security, supposedly, which is just indie talent from the local bingo hall. And they're just splitting them up. The roll of jelly's like, I'm gonna get you, Logan. And Logan's like, what the hell? I'll do it right now. I don't know why he just went really southern, but that's what we did, guys. I liked Logan Paul's promo right before they brawl. Logan's like, roll of jelly is just a part-timer. We don't do that here. We have been training our asses off for this all of our lives. This is all we've ever wanted to do. And Drew's kind of like, yeah, that's what we have been doing, huh, Logan? So everything Logan Paul was saying to the roll of jelly, Logan Paul, it can pertain to him as well. I thought that was kind of funny. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I knew they weren't going to have anything creative because, again, Helmsley is just making the rounds being the face of the company. When he has all these wrestlers that should be the face, he just wants to make sure that he's the face. So every time I would put on the TV, he's everywhere. First Take, he's next to the president as part of his new cabinet or council or something. None of this has anything to do with SummerSlam, by the way. The First Take, they talked about Unreal more than anything. The president thing is about a health thing. That's great, by the way. But, I mean, you have a job to do. You have a job to do right now. And he's doing everything this week but this. And we saw the same thing all of WrestleMania season. And you basically have seen this since Hunter Hearst Helmsley has taken over. He doesn't want to do the Vince McMahon shit, which is the actual work. He wants to be Vince McMahon, but he doesn't want to do Vince McMahon shit. And this is why you have shows like this. And most of the audience has just gotten so well, most of the audience has walked away. That's why the ratings are where they are. And that's why they can't consistently sell out arenas, even like they were doing just last year. They can't do it anymore. You have to call up The Rock now to sell out arenas and shit. It sucks. There's still so many tickets available for SummerSlam. They're going to act like it's a sellout, but it's not. Guys, there's thousands. Not just up front on Ticketmaster, but on the resale market, wow. It's not going to be packed. Because most of the audience has said, no thanks, check you. And when Helmsley says, fuck off, if you don't like what you're watching, they're going to do it. But there's a lot of the audience that has just lowered their bar so much because that's where they have lowered the bar. And they lost the fight. You know, it's so tiring to be negative and stuff because it's truthful, though. You don't want to be negative about it. It's truthful. You love pro wrestling. You want to see it be the best it can be. And you know that this is not it. And they fought for so long, and then they're just like, I can't. You know what? I'm just going to take whatever they give me, BC. Whatever, man. It's not worth it, and I just want to relax. Cool. You could absolutely do that. You know, unfortunately, you're no longer part of the solution. You're all part of the problem because that's exactly what they're looking for. They want you to sit down, shut up, take your wallet out, give us your money. Don't question what we're giving you. Don't say you didn't like anything. Say you love it. Everything we give you, I want to hear you in 60 seconds start yelling, "This is awesome!" When we put a title on anybody, and I don't care if we switch the title 12 times in a month, you sit there or stand and you say, "You deserve it." Not on this channel, man. These shows are not even close to where they should be. There was a time when a go-home show meant something. Oh, you were not only going to get a really good show, you were going to get a show that was meaningful and purposeful to the actual pay-per-view coming up. They don't even care. This did nothing. Damian Priest, Aleister Black had a match. Woo! SummerSlam! Tama Tonga defeated Medium Jim. Woo! SummerSlam! Julia and Zelina had another match. Woo! SummerSlam! Cena turned face out of nowhere. Whoa! Plot twist, said nobody ever. This wasn't a whoa moment. This was a WTF moment. The AAA tag titles are being defended with a lizard and a psycho clown. Whoa! Humberto and Garza versus the lizard and the clown. SummerSlam! The roll of jelly is brawling again with Logan. SummerSlam! You guys know I'm right, man. I know. We just want to relax and be like, oh, whatever, BC. It's SummerSlam. Let's try to get into it. No question. That's what we're going to do. But you guys stopped by the Amplified channel for the most honest review in the community. So what'd you think you were going to get? You're going to get the most honest review in the community. I don't care what day it is. I'm not going to fake excitement. But it's SummerSlam. It's always one of my favorite events of the year. So there's that underlining excitement and something to look forward to, but I just wish this company cared more, cared as much as its fans, cared as much as us, the unit. And until they start doing such, we'll keep flying them over the fire. Gotta happen. Until next time, and there will be that next time. And I'm talking SummerSlam, and I'm talking not just the good, the bad, and the ugly review, which will be up late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Channel members will get that first, and then all channel subscribers after. But I'm talking live. I would like to be live for the main event tonight, maybe even a match beforehand. But stay locked on the channel, and we'll have a countdown to when the live stream begins on the channel. So just keep checking this evening. You should be notified, subscribe to all that stuff, and actually the tube will notify you. So that's pretty cool. But just make sure you stop by this evening because if the Punk Gunther match is the main event, even though it's a consolation, it's not at Mania where it should have been. You know, we gotta watch Punk hoist that championship up live. So that's later this evening. It's SummerSlam weekend. This has been your Amplified Smackdown Go Home Show review. Until next time, and there will be that next time, BC in the unit, we're saying check you, 44 dive. That's a wrap. Salud.